Business in the 217 with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. I'm Greg Bishop. Now, during the COVID-19 pandemic, there was one venue that I think everybody really enjoyed heading out to because it was open, it was beautiful, and they had live music, and that's the Y Block. And we're going to see even more coming up. This week, they announced some of the lineup of artists that are going to be there at the Y Block. And joining us to talk about it from the Springfield Area Arts Council is Shelia Walk. Shelia, thanks for taking time with us on WMAY. How are you?
I am well. Thank you, Greg, for sharing your audience with us for the Levitt Amp Springfield.
Wouldn't not want to because we love staying connected with what's going on in Springfield, especially if it's giving people a way to escape. And the Y Block has a fascinating history. It's right down there north of the governor's mansion. When it had the old YWCA there, it was starting to fall apart, and then they tore it down, and now there's just an open field. But that open field has kind of taken on a life of its own. And we've seen now 2 years, right, of live concerts down there. What do we expect for the coming season?
More wonderful music and a vibrant community atmosphere, indeed. Yes, that North Mansion block on Jackson Street between 4th and 5th in downtown Springfield is becoming more and more lively, and plans are underway now for what that could be in downtown Springfield. And that is part of the mission of the Levitt Foundation. The Levitt Foundation is a national philanthropic group, and they're a participatory funder, a $25,000 matching grant to program free live music, partly to amplify a space that has been underused, and partly to bring together all the neighborhoods of the community into one spot and get everyone feeling comfortable, get everybody moving.
Yeah, it seems that the Y Block in its current, state checks all of those boxes.
Yes, it does. It does. I had heard about the Levitt Amp series several years ago, but I knew the Arts Council didn't have the capacity to do something of this scale. So when DSI expressed some interest, Downtown Springfield Incorporated, and brought along Downtown Springfield Heritage Foundation, the three of us together, all working as volunteers on this program alongside our regular jobs, managed to put together a good application 4 years ago, actually, and then part of a competitive nationwide vote before we could get the money that first year. Our first season brought about 7,000 people out to the Levitt lawn, and last season, coming out of the pandemic, we had over 18,000.
Wow. That's great.
Even during the pandemic, the summer of 2020, which would have been a second season for us, the Levitt Foundation said, we want to stay involved in your community. So we're still going to give you some money, keep the money for when we can all program live concerts, but we're going to give you some money now to do something community building there in Springfield. And so we gave away food through some dinner drives, and we also collected used musical instruments and gave them out to nonprofits in the community. And then we also gave some of the money to those nonprofits to give music lessons to children. And that all of it is meant to amplify music as a way to unify people. Music is powerful, and we all came to appreciate it so much during the pandemic, whether it's people singing from balconies or dancing from driveways. And certainly now, music coming out of the Ukraine is part of what we learn of that culture during this crisis. We are amplifying. I keep using that word because AMP is the name of the thing. Levitt Amp. We do want to continue using a diverse lineup to make everyone feel welcome. Over the summers when we had live concerts there, some people said, I don't really care what you're programming. Yeah. I'm just coming out to hear free music.
Absolutely.
It's a great summer evening. And then some people would come because they wanted to hear that particular genre. And they say, well, this feels pretty good. I'm going to come back. And that's how our audience builds. All ages, completely accessible, family-friendly, always free. This year, because the pandemic, we hope, is lessening, we are bringing back food trucks.
Oh, love
and
it.
so people not only can bring picnics, but also can purchase food there too. We want to support local venues. I know your radio station group is having a buy local campaign this month, and so our openers will come from the local area, and that's 30 minutes beginning at 6 o'clock. Our headliners by Levitt Foundation mandate must be touring bands. They must also have music available for purchase, have a social media presence, and a few other criterion that must be met. And so those are touring groups. And if I may, I'll list the genres.
We're talking with Shelia Walk from the Springfield Area Arts Council about the Levitt Amp concert series and just how much fun it's going to be down at the Y Block. And it was announced this week that we've got a lineup. Let's hear about that lineup, Sheila.
Excellent. So we will begin on June 2nd with jazz, the Soul Message Band. This is 10 successive Thursdays, June through August, the beginning of August. So 7 o'clock is the headliner. So we start with the Soul Message Band. Then we move into rock with Aaron Lee Sajan. Then we move into a sort of a reggae fusion to celebrate Juneteenth with Natu Kamara. And then we bring in a swing folk jazz ensemble, Davina and the Vagabonds. Move to Latin at the end of June, Charanga Tropical. Then Zydeco, Terrence Simeon and the Zydeco Experience. He's a Grammy winner, multi-Grammy winner. Then mid-July, a blues band, Illinois-based, Northern Illinois-based, led by the strong Cheryl Youngblood. Then country, Arlo McKinley, and then we end the season on August 4th with the Harlem Gospel Travelers, a trio out of New York.
So that's just a lineup that you're going to have so much fun with, all kinds of tastes of music. And Sheila, as you said, sometimes people, they go for the band, they go for the genre. Other times, they're just going because it's a wonderful atmosphere. It's outdoors. Their friends are kicking back. It's a picnic environment. You can get some drinks and hang out and just take in the wonderful atmosphere. So looking forward to another great season with the Levitt Amp concert series downtown Springfield at the Springfield Y Block, just north of the governor's mansion. And that space is definitely getting a lot of love right now, especially as we get out of this pandemic. Sheila, thank you so much for taking time with us here with WMAY's Morning News and Business in the 217. Looking forward to seeing you down there.
Thank you, and I hope everyone attends. All are welcome. Free live music.